Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Secondhand Farmer. So you're probably sitting there thinking, great, just what we need, another YouTube farmer. And yeah, more or less you'd be kind of right. I'm going to be another YouTube farmer. But I just want to be a little different than a lot of the other YouTube farmers. So a lot of them are kind of what I tend to call the big boys. You know, you've got guys with thousands of acres, running 8-row, 12-row combines, 24, 36-row planters. That sure as heck ain't me. So, a little bit about myself. My name's Cody. I'm a 27-year-old Central Illinois farmer. I farm roughly 60 acres with my dad and some friends who occasionally come along for the ride. We started farming here about, 4 years ago or so. I think this is our 4th season. We run, corn and soybeans. That's kind of the big thing around here. I've been thinking about getting into some wheat, but I haven't gotten that far yet. Kind of what I want to do with this channel is, say it's not only great big farmers who are dealing with millions and millions and millions of dollars who are out there. There's some little guys, and kind of show what it takes to get started in the ag industry. I feel like there's a really common thought out there that the only way you can start in the ag into ag, being a farmer, is to have loads of money, family ground, and essentially, if you are not independently wealthy, you're not going to be a farmer. And while granted, wealth would make life a lot easier, it's not impossible. I kind of want to go out and kind of show what it takes to do it and kind of try and encourage people who may or may not be thinking about doing this to do it. I mean, it's super rewarding. It's stressful, but it's incredibly rewarding. So that's kind of my thinking. I'm hoping that everybody enjoys. So I figure I'll kind of take you on a tour of the shop and kind of an equipment tour around the place. We don't have everything here. Our big tractor's still down at one of our fields. I got to get that home. That'll actually be in an upcoming video later on, trying to get that thing back home. So I guess first off, we're kind of up here in the main shop area. It's kind of our hangout area with the wood burner. Welding area, we got a couple of lathes, press, welder, nothing special. There's our planter. It's a John Deere 7000 8-row with a Kelderman folding setup on it, manual fold. That'll make for some real good content when I go to fold and unfold this thing. You guys are gonna be laughing pretty good. So this here is in the shop. We're gonna be getting it ready to go. Down in here, there's a clutch that's down here. Those kind of greasy bits there. Those are the clutch. And here's some of the new pieces up here. So we're going to be going in and replacing those. I'm trying to get this thing ready to go for planting. We're also going to be replacing these chains. They're pretty rough shape. Anybody who's owned one of these planters is probably looking at this thing and going, oh, it's so bad. And yeah, it's bad. But A1, it's only planting 60 acres. A2, we're kind of doing this on the cheap. So it's not perfect, and it gets a little better each year. Last year I upgraded all the meters, and this year we're upgrading chains and stuff like that. So who knows, maybe next year I'll get all new gauge wheels, that kind of thing. But at any rate, so we'll keep moving back. We got a surface grinder, brake press, another brake press, drill presses, essentially kind of a halfway, more or less fully stocked metal shop that also has a bunch of random junk. But random junk can come in handy sometimes. So this here, it's kind of tough to get a good angle on. This is our Takeuchi KB45 mini excavator. It's probably out of the mid-80s. It's old, it was inexpensive, she's wore out, but it will still throw dirt. We got our skid steer, Case 1845C, one of the best ones ever built in my opinion. Or at least, I should say one of our skid steers. Between Dad and I, we own 2. I have basically this one's little brother. I've got the 1818, little baby one. And then if we keep cruising back, log splitter. We have Dad's Ford 455 loader tractor. Used to be an old building crew tractor back in the day. but we just kind of use it. That's basically our snow shovel, and move other various materials around, you know, that kind of thing. Now we get to the first farm tractor on the tour, and that is my 1961 John Deere 3010 diesel. You know, she's old. This machine is 61 years old. Picked her up our second year of farming, so this will be her third season. Tires are a little rough, but this is our planter tractor. It used to be tillage tractor, planter tractor, kind of everything tractor. But since we got one of the bigger tractors, this has kind of gotten relegated to planter tractor, and you know, we run the mower with it, that kind of thing. Lighter work. So probably my favorite machine on the farm, but probably my favorite tractor. So now we'll mosey outside. We'll head out into the wonderful Illinois wind. Oh, forgot to mention, we got a little snowmobile up there, old John Deere Cyclone. That's the project machine. One of many project machines around here. We have a lot of projects. That's one thing I should probably mention. We've got tons of project machines and parts and stuff like that. Some of my friends, their biggest joke with me is, does it run? You know, which they will ask me continuously about just about everything I own. Does it run? Does it run? Does it run? And when Jacob winds up on the channel, my friend Jacob, I also kind of call him our techno czar. He's the guy who does a lot of the editing. When he winds up on the channel, I guarantee you will hear him ask me, but does it run? To which half the time my answer is yes or no. Let's see what we got going on. So that machine's actually sold, but that was a 50-foot Skyjack scissor lift. We got a 35-foot Grove Zoom man lift. Zoom. Yeah. Bunch of steel. So we got our farm truck here and my car. Don't mind those. 02 Ford F350. 7.3 diesel. It's got this typical Ford issue. Good old truck. This is Dad's tractor here, which it is a 1963 John Deere 4010. So basically it's 2 years newer and a size bigger than my 3010. Got a year-round cab on it. Put LED lights on her a couple years ago just so we could see what the heck we're doing, pulling our homemade box scraper. This is kind of one of our all-around machines. We use it for tillage in small areas, pulling the field cultivator, just kind of general maintenance work. Next up on the list is the newest addition to the fleet, which is this John Deere 6000 sprayer. This is a 1985. I just bought it on an auction a couple weeks back. You know, she needs a little TLC, but it's halfway decent shape. It works. That's the main thing. So, you know, she needs a couple of parts and pieces, but all in all, it's in good shape. The next machine we've got, it's another sprayer, but that'll fit between the rows. That and won't. Both of these have 60-foot booms on them, but this is a 1976 Terragator 1253. She got a 3208 Caterpillar diesel in her, 10-speed transmission. This machine we actually picked up. It had sat in the weeds down at a farm a couple towns south of us for about, I don't know, 10 years, sitting in the weeds. We brought it home, got it running, and we're currently in the process of trying to figure out if the pump works and how to plumb the booms. So if anybody has any kind of insight on these things, you know, not 100% sure what that thing does, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. But like I said, if anybody has any insight, I would not turn down some help. So next up, we got a couple old plows in the weeds. Those actually are still used sometimes. Now we'll get up to the combine row. So first off, we got this said 62, I think, John Deere 45. Got a 4-cylinder gasser on it that doesn't run. 2 rows at a time. Can only imagine harvesting That's slow. Next up, we got our parts combine, which is a Gleaner F2 gasser. This one's got a Chevrolet gas engine on it. And then we have our main combine, which is also a Gleaner F2, but this one's the diesel with the hydrostat. This one's got a manual transmission with a variable belt drive, whereas this is a hydrostat. So you got a lot more control of it in the field, and a lot bigger tires. Runs a 4-row 30-inch corn head and a 13-foot grain platform. Everybody else around us runs a minimum of 6, mostly 8-row. And here we are doing 4 rows at a time. But that's kind of why I call it the secondhand farmer. You know, all of our equipment is at least secondhand, if not third or fourth. I'm pretty sure I'm the 4th owner of that thing. So that's kind of our line of equipment. I'm gonna get back in the shop where I got the wood burner going. Whew, that wind's brutal. Oh, that's better. So, like I said, that's kind of the ins and outs of our operation. I figured it'd be kind of neat to see the other side of farming that's not the multi-million-dollar, high-dollar farmer. It's just a small guy getting started. With that being said, thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, comments, obviously there's a comment section down there. Suggestions. I'm new to this YouTube thing. If y'all got any of that, leave it on down there in the comments. If you guys want to come along and see how we do it, hit the subscribe button, give us a like, follow along. Should be a good ride. All right, thank you guys very much, and we will catch y'all on the next round.